typically when you see all these surveys and data of various kinds, it is done by some central authority, either academics or the government, that decides what the important questions are, how they should be tracked, and then sends out survey teams to collect that data, analyzes that data. The people who've spent the time answering that question don't have a direct benefit from the data. It's a very indirect benefit, if at all. Yeah? This is an attempt to cut that to the chase. You basically say, develop in these citizen forums, in these deliberative forums, have them have a discussion as to what they think of as well-being. How do they see the good life? How do they see their aspirations? From that general discussion, you come to a consensus as to what are the various specific things they want to track to satisfy those, to measure those aspirations, those dreams, those aspects of well-being, the good life, as the philosophers say. Go from those indicators to internally within those villages develop survey instruments, survey methods that can capture those indicators, capture that data. They're doing it all by themselves, by the people, for the people, of the people. What the government does, what we do, is to give citizens or villages access to tablets so that it becomes very easy to ask the question within the tablet, an electronic tablet. The question is answered. Sometimes if they can't read, it is said, there are various other ways of getting around that problem. And what the advantage of the tablet is, the data doesn't get corrupted. It's taken and dispatched to a cloud server immediately. Nobody sees it between the person collecting the data and the cloud server, so it's automatically validated. But then importantly, the data we've developed a very nice system of community-based visualization of the data. The data is presented back to the community in a way that the community can understand what that data is saying. It's not some statistical diagrams and regressions and fancy charts of various kinds. For instance, to understand one of the things that were prioritized in India is what is the extent to which husbands and wives have control over decision making. You know how they did it? We have an image that if the wife has more control, her face is bigger. If the husband has more control, his face is bigger, right? So they immediately see the value of this. And I'm happy to share those visualizations if you like. It's on the internet. But then that visualization has to lead to a process of feedback. In those deliberative spaces, if the village can see all its data, it can have a much better sense of what are its priorities and how to develop those plans that we were talking about. Yeah? So it feeds directly into the planning process, and you do this every year, they're able to track their own progress. The second benefit of it, if the government comes down and tells them, look, this is how poor you are, they say, no, we are poor in this, but look at what our own data say. You don't have to depend on the national data to make your decisions. And the government can benefit from it too because it sees the citizens' data. Sometimes it's very difficult to do surveys, particularly in conflict areas. You have this data. That is the citizens' data. That is also a valid source of information. Okay? So the possible advantages of citizens' data I've all just been through are many. It helps improve consensus build and improve decision making. It helps citizens improve their dialogue with municipal governments. The municipal government has priorities. Citizens say, no, these are our priorities, and we have the data to show you. So that local government cannot simply impose its authority because it's somehow smarter. The citizens get smarter with the data. Yeah? And therefore hold governments more accountable. Now,